Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Look at all those flyaways. Oh, look at the chaos. Good morning. Good morning, you beautiful people. Hello, how are you? It's a wonderful Sunday, self-care Sunday. I did not want to wear like yoga pants or like tight clothes. I'm probably gonna get sweaty and take this off and just wear my tank top maybe, but like sweatpants, and something about sweatpants and just a sweater. I just needed clothes not to like touch my skin. I was like trying to find something to wear and I was like, oh, my tism is tisming because I did not want to wear clothes. I did not want to have anything. I don't know. We'll see how today goes. I set up the kids' pool yesterday and they played out there for a really long time. Connor's still getting up in the morning, the wee hours of the morning, and coming into our room, and he's too hot. I can't handle it. I don't know. I normally like hot, so I wonder if some changes are happening because it's too hot. I don't like it. I don't want you touching me. And I'm a cuddler, so maybe I need more fans in there. Full moon is still going to be in effect for the next couple of days, so I definitely felt like dizzy and woozy yesterday. Lots of energy, lots of releasing, lots of upgrades. I did go take a nap yesterday, which I don't do. Troy got home and I was like, I'm done. I cannot. I'm done. And he let me go take a nap. And I do remember seeing like signs and letters and stuff. So maybe my body just needed to download some things, but I definitely still feel a little like my stomach feels weird. My stomach feels weird. I had to get up and go get the Tums. I don't know. The spiritual message of today. What is the spiritual message of today? Spiritual message of today, the August the 10th, self-care Sunday. Make sure you're doing self-care. I did put face cream on. I moisturized my face, so make sure you're doing something special for self-care. August 10th, an exercise in perspective. Write a letter to your future self. Tell yourself who you are today, what your greatest fears are, and what you believe in. Ooh. What if you don't know all the things you believe in? I don't know what I believe. What are your goals? What do you hope to get even better at? Give yourself advice and share life lessons. Interesting. Seal up the letter and store it in a safe place. Set a reminder on your calendar to mail the letter to yourself 1 to 3 years from today. Yes, mail it. Years from now, you will open the letter and discover the perspective that can only come with time. So that's a very interesting. I do love the fact that I'm not really part of the church. I don't really want to discuss that part. But I'm just saying, like, I loved the part where you learned that if you read a book and then you read it again at a different time and you read it again at a different time in your life, you have different perspectives and different views on things. And so then the spiritual messages from books are different each season of life that you're reading it. So I really do like that. So the fact that you sit down, you write your fears, you write your goals, you give yourself perspective on like the life lessons that you were learning back then, and then you keep the letter and mail it to yourself in 1 to 3 years, the perspective is going to be different in 1 to 3 years. And maybe you'll be giving yourself your own spiritual message, spiritual sign that you're needing in that 1 to 3 years, which would be really cool to get that like intuitive message from yourself. later on. That is cool. I do like that. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Can you see the wheels? Can you see the wheels turning? He thought about coming in here. Wow. Like, my perspective on so many things in my life has changed. I can't imagine what or where I am in 3 years. And then it does that through. Oh, that's irritating too, Spirit, you irritator. Because, like, I've set that goal for in 3 years, my business will be able to sustain myself. I know there's big changes coming in 3 years, and it's telling me to write a letter. So in 3 years, I can have that spiritual advice. Wow. Very interesting. I keep breaking out in hives. And I think I broke my toe yesterday, which tells me I'm in like a clumsy phase. So my body needs rest. That's probably why I took a nap yesterday. Autoimmune is autoimmuning. Okay, there was something else I wanted to talk about today. I don't know how this conversation is going to go. I'm going to try to sound, I'm just going to be authentically myself. I was going to say I was going to try to sound smart, but that just doesn't work. But I wanted to talk about spiritual psychosis, and then I wanted to talk about spiritual awakenings. And I just hope that by the end of it, we kind of know the difference, and that, hey girl, hey, and that we're able to recognize things better. I don't know. I worry for people that are going through spiritual awakenings. And then I worry for people that are going through psychosis. And then I worry about people with spiritual awakenings following people that are going through spiritual psychosis. There's so much, like, I worry. So let's talk about it. I'm obviously not judging people. Mental health and psychosis is like a scary thing, and I'm not judging it. I love therapy. I love healthcare in a way. I did come from a nursing background. I do think that it helps a lot, and I think that there is a need for those things. There's a need for those things. So I'm not judging people who go through psychosis at all. That's not what this is for. This is to help you recognize things, okay? It's about protecting our peace as people who are on a spiritual path, and recognizing maybe some red flags, maybe recognizing some red flags in ourselves, maybe like trying to understand things more. We could easily slip, maybe. So psychosis is like a mental state of mind where someone kind of loses contact with reality. That's really hard, because when you're on a spiritual path, there's a lot of interesting things that happen that could make you feel like you're in psychosis. But so somebody in psychosis can have a lot of delusions, a lot of hallucinations, a lot of disorganized thoughts or speech, very paranoid and extremely fixated on certain things. And when like people bring something to their attention that they are very fixated on something, or that they're being paranoid, they're going to double down and be like, no, like this is absolutely 100, like, but then that makes me really difficult because as an intuitive person, you can't tell me I'm wrong, because when spirit tells me something about you and I tell you that thing, it's 100%. So this is why this is so hard. This is so hard, but I'm so nervous for people. Extremely fixated. So it's more, you can tell that you're leading with your ego, or you could tell that that person is leading more with their ego. And so it's a lot of I'm doing this is happening to me. Like it's a lot about me and less about like spirit, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's really hard. So they might be making a lot of things about themselves. Believe that they're receiving spiritual messages that no one else can understand. Like, you could very easily say I'm in spiritual psychosis. I don't know if this is helpful or not, you guys. Being unable to hear feedback or concern from loved ones. I don't think none of y'all are coming at me saying you're concerned about my mental health, so maybe that's a good sign. If anything, you guys come at me and say your spiritual gifts are amazing, so I'm fine. But, like, if your loved ones are all trying to say something's going on, we think that something's going on with your paranoia or your mental health state, or like a lot of people are like, not just one, like multiple people in your family or your friends are coming at you with some things like this is something's wrong and you've had mental health issues in the past, and like stuff like this has happened before. Try to recognize that this could be happening again and that maybe you do need more help. So if you can't take a step back and look at the perspective of things too, like a lot of the times I'll be like, I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm going crazy. People in a spiritual psychosis, they can't look back and be like, am I crazy? They are like 100% nah. It's all ego, power tripping. Like it's all, there's no internal dialogue that is like making them take a step back and look at perspectives and things. So I think that most of us on our spiritual path are like, is this really happening? What is going on? So that's a good sign. That is a really good sign. I do a lot of things to keep myself grounded so that I don't go into a spiritual psychosis. People who are on a spiritual path, you are walking a fine line between spiritual psychosis and spiritual awakenings. Like that's why I really try to tell you guys, do not jump into Kundalini awakening things right away. Do not push yourself so hard into like healing everything all at once, opening all of the traumas, all of the doors all at once, because it can very easily push you into spiritual psychosis. I did have a client this year, and that's why I had to set more boundaries, go into a spiritual psychosis, and I was unable to help her understand that she was in a spiritual psychosis. Like, there was nothing. Like, I could not get her to understand that she was not there. Meditate daily. Yes, Jen, that, like, you have to be doing grounding practices. You have to be protecting your energy. You have to be doing the work in order to keep yourself on that path of still learning and understanding and not leading with our egos. We cannot lead with our egos. We're trying to connect more to spirit. And it shouldn't be like a hyper fixated thing. It should be more a flow like the river. I like that. So Because I've learned how to practice my spiritual gifts, I can trust in what Spirit is telling me. I've received so much validation. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years now. I understand that the things that I say are true. I understand they don't come from me, and I don't remember those things. So, like, the spiritual advice I'm giving you, it's like a channeled message and then it's gone. So I feel like that's also helpful. Somebody who's like hyper fixated on things and like keeping things organized to tell you guys is interesting to me. I don't understand some people. Okay. Spiritual awakenings is a shift in your perspective. So you're trying to see yourself and the world around you differently, and you're trying to not lead with your ego, and you're trying to lead more onto that spiritual path. It's so hard. I've worked so hard to get where I'm at. You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. Like at the sound bath, I was like, I honestly did not need to touch you, because your flow from your crown to your heart was going just fine. It was going just fine. Like, you're going to be able to manifest the things that you need. Spiritual awakenings are often triggered by things like trauma, loss, illnesses, major transitions in your life. You may feel more connected to Spirit, source of the universe, but it's also emotional, disorienting, and even lonely at times. That's why when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you just have to have boundaries, and you have to be able to understand where you're going. Like, thank Spirit for leading me on a path to find people that could mentor me and help me through my spiritual awakening the first time. Because had I followed somebody who was going through a spiritual psychosis and just pulling cards at random and telling me BS crap because they were leading with their ego, and they just like the click of people finding them, you know what I mean? Like, I could have been very lost. I could have been very, very lost. During a spiritual awakening, you're breaking a lot of old patterns. You're breaking a lot of generational things. You're trying to set new standards for yourself. You may crave meaning and be tempted to find it in everything. So when we're going through a spiritual awakening, we're looking for those signs. We're trying to find things. We can drive people crazy during spiritual awakenings because we're like, there's a nail, there's a butterfly, there's this. And people who aren't going through a spiritual awakening are like, girl, that's enough. Not everything. That tissue ain't a sign. But I get it. If you already have mental health struggles, going through a spiritual awakening can make those things a lot worse. So just taking note of where you're at. It's okay to get therapy. It's okay to go on medication. It's okay to work with the other side of things. You don't have to go cold turkey off of things or not take care of your mental health. You should be taking care of your mental health more when you're going through spiritual awakenings, because it's very difficult. Without guidance, it's very easy to misinterpret intuition versus instability. So being able to find that proper mentor too. So be careful who you're watching and who you're surrounding your energy with, and who you're getting your readings from, and who you're going to energy work for, and like who you're scrolling through, like, and their patterns and stuff that they're doing, like, especially since like you're wiping the slate clean and you're trying to become this new person, this new thing. The people that you watch, you could very easily start mirroring, and if they're not good people and you're mirroring that, it's not good. You are wide open during awakenings, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually, and that's why discernment and support are non-negotiables. how to know you're in a true awakening and not a crisis. Yeah, definitely ask questions, come to the sound baths. We always say, like, if you've got a question or you need to, like, we're open to helping you guys through these transitions, because we know that we kind of been through it and we know what we're doing. Good morning. Good morning. Is it morning? It's 10. Okay. It's still kind of morning, right? That sounds like Connor. You can't come right over here. You can't come right over here. You can't come right over here. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here, you little turkey. It's like he knew. It's like he knew. He was like, I'm going to go all the way. You sneaker. No. No. What do you need? Is it Cutler? Yeah. I'm live, Cutler. Go eat your toaster. Show Connor his toaster again. It's both of them. It's both of them at the door. Now. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. How to know you're in a true awakening and not a crisis. So spiritual awakenings, you do become more clear. Things may be intense, but your thoughts are more clear. Whereas spiritual psychosis, you'll be more erratic. You'll be more, again, it's with that ego. So like defensive and obsessive. Whereas the spiritual awakening, it's more clear. Like you're gaining more clarity. Like you're seeing things without those rose-colored glasses and you're like, holy crap. Like, how have I missed this? Why didn't I see the truth right in front of me? Like things become more clear. You're still able to ask questions or question your thoughts. You're able to observe things. Whereas like the spiritual psychosis, again, it is that strict obsession. It is the ego based and people can't tell you nothing. You're not going to listen. People, like your loved ones being concerned and you're not, like, you think you're just fine. So you're very curious. For a spiritual awakening, you're wanting to learn things. You're very curious about things. You're looking for things, spiritual signs and stuff. Whereas the psychosis, it's more like you're making things fit your narrative. Like, I don't really want to, but that TikTok lady is what spurred me to talk about this because it makes me so nervous. Spiritual psychosis versus spiritual awakenings. And, like even her tarot cards that she's pulling, they're trying to tell her stuff and she's just making it fit her narrative. Like she pulled the tower multiple times and she's like, I should just leave that card out. I should just leave it out because I just keep pulling it. And I'm like, oh my God, your life is going to fall apart. Recognize what Spirit is trying to tell you. What are you doing? Okay. You seek growth, not control. So you're not controlling the narrative. You're seeking growth. You're seeking a new perspective. You're letting go of things and starting new. But it's not like, why did they go outside? I can hear the door. Ding, ding. We have those. Ding, dings. Don't move a muscle. I'll just have to leave the door. You can move now. You can breathe. I'll just have to leave the door open again because they are outside they're jumping on the trampoline, which is fine. You, for spiritual awakenings, you're open to starting therapy back up again. You're open to feedback from other people. And you are striving to do grounding practices for your emotions, for your physical body. One of the things that I also think is super important, especially as we get into more use of AI and ChatGPT and stuff like that, the AI tools, I do think that those are amazing in ways. In ways, those can be very amazing tools to help organize your thoughts or to help organize your thoughts, to make cool pictures, stuff like that. I do not think that it should replace your therapy. I do not think that is something that you should have conversations with as if it's real. I do not think that you should name it and like, I don't know, y'all are being, I used that for the 8-8 to help me. What do you mean you used? The ChatGPT? I think that is a great tool in ways. In ways it is a great tool. If you're already spiraling or having paranoia, or there seems to be a lot of, it can be helpful if you're trying to find ideas or organize thoughts, or you're using it for your business. I don't think it should replace therapy. I don't think you should make it I joke about it being my best friend because it'll help me organize my thoughts, but I put all my information in there to organize my thoughts. I don't get my thoughts from there. If you're in a hyperfixated state, if you're paranoid, if you're going through mental health stuff, if you're going through a huge spiritual awakening and you feel like it is not something I would lean on, it could be very easily leading your paranoia deeper. It could be giving you very unhealthy, like it's AI, it's not a therapist. It could be giving you very unhealthy validation and ideas. Talk to a person. If you're really spiraling and need help, don't go to ChatGPT. Just find a person, find a spiritual leader. Like, they will be able to tell you if you're in spiritual psychosis or you're like just going through a spiritual awakening and the things that you need to do. Again, I think that it is super easy for us as people who are on a spiritual path to walk that fine line between spirituality and psychosis. And if you let somebody else or a bad leader lead you, it could lead you into mental health crisis. Yeah, ideas is fine. I don't even know how to use it. Well, then don't. Again, it is really helpful when I'm trying to organize my thoughts. And I'm saying I have an event, I'm doing this, this, and this, and like, it's very helpful business-wise, but I don't get my spiritual advice, and I don't think that calling it Ben and like saying, putting all my relationship issues in it and then asking it to help me figure that out, or having the ChatGPT calling me the oracle and validating my delusions on my spirituality when I'm leading with ego and making me feel more ego. Like, it is so it can be very not good. It can be very not good. It's a great tool. Oh, but it needs to be used properly. Same thing with tarot cards, same thing with oracle cards, same things with anything spiritual or divination tool-wise. It needs to be used correctly. There we go. Thank you. So what are ways that we can make sure that we stay on our spiritual path and that we're not going into that spiritual psychosis? So grounding ourselves daily, doing a meditation, some deep breathing, making sure we're checking in with ourselves, making sure we're taking care of our physical body, we're drinking water, we're eating our vegetables, we're getting enough rest, we're not on our phone all day, like those kind of things. If we are going through mental health issues, and we do feel like we do need somebody more routinely to help us with our thoughts, starting therapy back up or seeing a therapist is, I've seen a therapist. I've seen a couple therapies in my life, and it's not a bad thing. It's a tool that can be used to help you get out of loops or to help you understand your emotions. It's very good. Another thing you can do is check your ego regularly. Ask yourself, is this about truth or is this about me feeling special or chosen? Seeing if you're making the signs fit your narrative or if you're actually receiving spiritual messages. So like, I don't know. It's very interesting when I'm reading for somebody, especially somebody I know, my ego can definitely get in the way. And so like I know Crystal and Danielle very well, so I don't read for them often because I know a lot about them. And so I have a harder time with my ego stepping in and being like, well, I know that she has this problem. And so this and this and this. Whereas if you're somebody that I know but don't know like them, like I see them multiple times a week, it's really easy to tell if it's my ego or if it's my spiritual gift, because my ego just wants to be nosy and ask, well, what's going on there? What's this? Like my ego's very nosy, whereas my spiritual gift, it just gives me very easy. It just comes in clear. It's not this ego thing. Not every voice or message is spirit. Some are subconscious processes. Is this message helpful, loving, grounding, and in alignment with collective good? So like the bad thoughts that you have, those aren't spirit, or just checking in with yourself to see if the guidance is being manipulated by your ego or by your traumas, or is this something I'm actually receiving from spirit? Limit your need for constant signs. So like you can ask for signs, look for signs, but not making it an obsessive thing. Psychosis thrives in isolation and like in projection. So don't stay away from people. Like make sure that you're getting out, you're doing things, that you're around your friends and family so that you can keep yourself out of that. Creating boundaries with spirit is really helpful. So like, am I letting spirit come in at 10 p.m. at night and allowing it to always be like my channels to always be open? No, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I have boundaries, and then I will shield myself or wear my things to cover my crown so that I can make sure that I'm protected. I'll close my channel down better. If I'm not wanting to channel things, like I'm going to go to the store today and get more fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to want to, I'll probably cover my crown because it's a Sunday and there's going to be a lot of people in there. and I don't want to channel things. So making sure that you're maintaining boundaries. Somebody that's like constantly saying that they're open and always like on live channeling and doing things, and not like, where is your boundaries? Where is your practice for self-care and self-healing? Another thing is like, so as a spiritual people, we're constantly like reading books. We're constantly trying to gain more knowledge, which is great. But we have to make sure that we're not making that an obsessive thing. Like, we do need to spend time in quiet. What? Spend time in quiet and write down our thoughts and get our emotions in check, and allow for time for that self-care, and not to be constantly trying to gain a ton of knowledge all at once, all the time. Like, there has to be a balance, if that makes sense. If there is somebody that's constantly like face in a book, like they have to know everything all the time right now, like that could lead into a spiritual psychosis. I have a lot of books, but I'm not reading them all at once. Another thing is, I don't get out my tarot cards and my oracle cards and my divination tools every day. Like, it's not an obsessive tool that I have to have. Like, what is my day today? What is my night time going to be like? What's going on with this? Like, I don't constantly reach for those tools. I allow myself to have breaks. If you find yourself constantly reaching for a divination tool, it might be time to take a step back and have a pause. I think that is all I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Just be cautious, because spiritual awakenings and spiritual psychosis is getting so much more prevalent, and it's honestly because we have a lot of people seeing how, I don't know how to say stuff and not sound mean, seeing how great a community of healers can be. And as somebody who is an ego-based person and who craves attention, it could be very easy for those narcissistic people to step in and want to give you the best advice, and want to pull the tarot cards, and want to pretend like they're in this higher channel, the oracle, or whatever they want to call themselves. But like, they're actually leading with ego and giving you advice that is very much not a channeled message, which could lead you on a different path. So just paying attention to who you're following and making sure that you're not getting stuck. I think a lot of people recognize that that lady is in spiritual psychosis. Don't go and get the Kundalini awakening things where your whole body's jolting and it's so amazing. Like that thing gives me the ick. And I'm sorry if you're somebody who practices Kundalini awakenings and you think it's the most magical thing. Don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. It gives me the ick. Spiritually, I see black smoke. I don't like it. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You get your booty out of here. Cutler, don't come over here. You know better. I don't want your booty in my... You don't listen worth crap. What are you doing? You should go put clothes on. Go downstairs, get your shirt and your shorts. But you're in pajamas and underwear. Yeah. So anyways, that's my spiritual message of the day. If you missed the beginning part, the actual positive thinking book was talking about writing yourself a letter about your goals, about your perspective on life, what you believe in, and then in 3 years, getting that letter back out, setting an alarm on your phone or setting something in your calendar so that you get a reminder to look at that letter again, because then it would be like receiving spiritual advice from yourself 3 years from now, which is really cool. Did you see I made you a toaster?
Yes.
You don't want the toaster?
I want peanut butter toast.
I can do peanut butter toast. Can you tell everybody good morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Say, we'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.